Hello and welcome. My name is Miss Brandy. Some of you already know who I am because you've done these videos before, but some of you are new here. We've got new friends with us, guys. All right, everybody say, hey, new friends. Hey, new friends. All right, well, we're so glad to have you here. And if you don't know already, I'm Miss Brandy, like I said, and I work for an organization, that's a big word, called Cultural Crossroads, okay? We are here to help you experience the arts and culture and music and dance and theater and everything, and help us all build a better community together, because art and music and dance, those are all the things that everybody shares. It's something we all enjoy, okay? So that's what we're gonna use to build strong friendships and build a better town, city, community, country that we live in, okay? That's what Cultural Crossroads is here for. So one of the things that we do is make these boxes for you. Now you're probably thinking, Miss Brandy, it looks like a pizza box, but there's no pizza in it. Where's the pizza? Well, I know. Everybody loves their pizza, but there's something super special in here. Every box that you get is gonna have all the little things you need to make some really cool art projects, okay? And this video is me, and I'm gonna show you how to do them, okay? You're gonna do them right along with me, all right? You can do them at home, or you can do them at school, or you can do them at daycare. Just wherever you are, make sure that you have a grown-up or an older kid there with you to help you out, because we all need a little bit of help sometimes, okay? I need help sometimes too. It's okay, all right? So let's get started. So this month is the month of December. That's right. And what happens in December? Some of you may have birthdays, or what's something really big that happens? Is it Christmas? Christmas. Yes, Christmas happens in December, doesn't it? But you know what? There's a lot of families out there that also celebrate a holiday called Hanukkah. And there's a lot of families out there that celebrate a holiday called Kwanzaa, okay? And those are really special holidays too. But because I know that most people in the area celebrate Christmas, this month's box is Christmas themed, okay? All right, and if you celebrate Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, I would love for you to send me any kind of information you can about your family's special holiday, and we'll talk about that another time, okay? Sound good? All right, great. All right, so let's get to opening our box. And we'll get to see what's inside of it, okay? If you haven't opened it already, that's great. And if you have, that's fine too, okay? But we're gonna open it like it's our first time opening it, okay? All right, so we're gonna count down. 1, 2, 3, whoosh. Oh my goodness, there's so much fun stuff in here. Okay, let's get started. All right, so first you're gonna have a little bitty bag with some teeny tiny little white balls in them. All right, let's be very careful not to open this bag until we need to, okay? Because if these spill everywhere and we lose them, we're not gonna have enough for the project that we're gonna make with them, okay? So let's just keep that bag closed and we keep it off to the side for now, okay? Next, you'll have a little Christmas themed little bag. Mine looks like this. It says, "We wish you a Merry Christmas," and it's green, but yours may look a little bit different, okay? They all are a little bit special, all right? And inside of that bag, you're gonna have a green crayon, a little piece of red ribbon, a little red pom-pom or a little fuzzy ball, and 2 teeny tiny googly eyes, okay? Also, little bag, keep closed. There's little bitty parts in it. We're just gonna set it to the side for now, okay? We don't need to open it up just yet. Next, you're gonna have a little bottle of glue. You're gonna see these a lot. If you're new here, you're gonna get one of these in almost every box. So whenever you're done with your projects that need glue, feel free to use this for other projects that you make, okay? That's yours. All right, and then you're gonna have 2 little pots of paint. You have green and you have brown. Now these are washable, meaning that if they get on your hands or your clothes, they will wash off. But still, as always, let's be very, very careful not to spill it or get it anywhere where it shouldn't be, okay? We all make messes and that's okay, but just be on the safe side, okay? All right, next, you're gonna have this Christmas tree shaped cookie cutter, okay? Now it is metal, all right? Metal is very strong, but this is also very easy to bend, so don't squeeze it or anything like that. Let's be very careful with it. When you're done with the project that we're using this for, you can use it to make Christmas cookies, okay? All right, just be sure to wash it before you make your cookies, all right? Next, you're gonna have a little plastic bag that's got all of these red and green pieces on it. That's gonna be for a project. And then you'll have a little bag that's gonna have 2 yellow stars with some other pieces in it. That's for another project. You'll have this white bag with some black markings on it. This is called Model Magic. It's kind of like Play-Doh. It's a little bit squishy and stuff like that. That's gonna be a really fun project. I can't wait. All right, next, you're gonna have a little Beady Rolling Pin. You've seen these before, huh? Little rolling pin. All right, and now again, just like with your cookie cutter, you can use this for making cookies whenever we're done with our project. Just be sure to wash it first, all right? And then you'll have a fork and a plate. Now we're not gonna be eating snacks on this, unfortunately, but we are gonna use it to make something really cool, okay? So, no food on them just yet, all right? And then you're going to have a card with a Christmas tree on it and a red envelope to put it in. Then you'll have a sheet of stickers. All right, I know that the first thing that we want to do when we see fun stickers is just to take them off and start putting them on everything. Let's not do that with these stickers. These stickers are going to be part of your project, okay? And you're going to want every single one of them for it, all right? I promise you're going to get to stick them on something, but it's got to go on a very certain something, okay? All right, next, folded up, you're gonna have this big old Christmas tree. That's right. Now guess what? These stickers are gonna go with this Christmas tree. You'll see that there are 25 circles all numbered on your tree, and there's gonna be 25 stickers, okay? So we'll talk more about that later, but that's why I'm telling you not to use those stickers on anything else, okay? Then you're gonna have a little brown rectangular piece of paper, a brown rectangle. And then we'll get to the best thing for last. And then we'll have a big blue square of paper, blue square, and then a paintbrush. And then lastly is our little gift to you. All right, you all got one, and you have a little reindeer friend. Isn't he so cute? You'll notice he has some Velcro on his hands, and that's because they can clasp together and you can hang it. You can hang it on stuff. Isn't that fun? I think I'm gonna name mine Comet. Yeah, what's your reindeer's gonna be? All right, I love that. All right, so I guess I'm gonna pick my stuff up and then I'll meet you back here in a second and I'll show you our very first project. Okay. Alrighty, for our very first project, we're going to do an Advent tree. An Advent tree or an Advent calendar is a calendar that counts down the days to Christmas, starting with the first day of December. So hopefully you're doing this on the first day of December, but if not, that's okay. I'll show you what to do if you're doing this on a day that is not the first day of December. So for this project, you're going to need your little packet. Now I've already opened up mine that had the little yellow stars and stuff in it. I've already opened mine, but guess what I'm gonna do with this? I'm gonna throw it in the trash, okay? That's where that goes. It does not go in your mouth or anywhere else. It goes in the trash. All right, and inside of it were the yellow stars, and there's a little white foamy strip and some directions. Okay, so you can follow along these directions, or you can follow along with what I'm doing, or both. Okay, they'll both show you how it's done. And then we have our little Christmas themed bag with the crayon and stuff in it. Now the only thing we're gonna need out of here is the crayon. So we're gonna turn it over on the back and you'll see where it opens. It's okay if you have a grown-up help you do this. And just gently peel it up. It's sticky. And reach inside and grab just the crayon. And then I'm gonna put my ribbon back down in there. And then I'm gonna close it up again because those tiny little googly eyes are still in there, and our ribbon and our pom-pom, and that's for another project. So we're just gonna put that back with the rest of our stuff. And then you may need this, you may not, just always have it handy, just in case. And then your tree, okay? And now, because I had to fold it to get it in the box the right way, what I'm gonna do is open it up and then just use my finger to kind of flatten it out. Just flatten it out. Yeah. I didn't realize they were gonna be so big when we got them. I thought they were gonna be smaller and I wouldn't have to fold them, but that's okay, we make it work. And then you're gonna need your sheet of Christmas stickers. All right, we'll just set those to the side for now. So the first thing you're gonna do is grab your green crayon. Now that's the only color that we have to color this whole tree, but I'm gonna show you a trick. It's called shading. Now every color has shades, meaning that it's lighter or darker, okay? And with things like crayons, you can create shade by either coloring very lightly or pressing a little bit harder and getting it darker. So then you get lighter green and darker green, or anything in between, okay? So I think on mine, I'm gonna color this top section a darker green, and then this one a very light green, and then do the dark green again. Now this is going to be a very big coloring project. And I'm gonna color mine completely in, but you don't have to. You do it how you want to do it, okay? If you wanna do light green, light green, or just all the same color, however you want to do yours is fine. I'm just gonna do mine the way that I wanna do it, okay? But we are discussing or talking about shades of color. So that's why I'm gonna show you the dark and the light, okay? Neat little trick that artists use, okay? So, I'm just gonna start at the top. And like I said, I'm gonna do it dark green. So I'm going to press down very firmly. See? And even now you could see that I've gotten a darker green and a lighter green just right there because I started off pressing down harder and then kind of eased up a little bit. So if that happens, you just go back over it, pressing down firmly again. I'm just gonna color this whole section. I'm gonna stop my dark green where these lines are. Now, a great little tip to coloring with crayons or color pencils is to always go in the same direction. So instead of doing this and this and this, I always like to go in the same direction and just work my way across the area that I'm coloring. But again, you just do it however you want to, okay? All right, so for those of you who are new, you may not know this, but I have a superpower. I can do super speed. I can do anything really fast, okay? With just a snap of my fingers. So I'm gonna go into super speed mode and I want you to work at your own pace. You can pause this video and come back to it when you're done, however you want to do it, okay? All right, but I'm gonna go into super speed mode so that way I can get this done very quickly and keep on going, okay? All right, see you in a bit. Whew. All right. See how fast? All right, now you'll see I did go in a little bit of different direction over here on the edge. And that's okay, that's all right. Even sometimes I say, hey, try this or do that, and then I'll do the opposite. I think we all do it. Okay, so for this next section right here, I'm gonna do the lighter green. So I'm gonna not press as hard as I was on the darker green. Okay, I'm just gonna lightly do it, all right? So I'm gonna start over here and I'm just gonna lightly do this. Now you can color over the circles. I just left mine uncolored, but you can color over them. It's okay because that's where your stickers are gonna go, so it's gonna hide it anyways. Okay, so you just do whatever is easiest for you. Okay, so you see I'm almost holding the crayon and touching the side of the crayon on the paper rather than the tip of it, okay? That kind of helps a little bit. So I'm just barely touching it across the paper. And I may go over some more spots. And see, I'm using my pointer finger. I'm holding it like that, and I'm using my pointer finger to kind of help glide it across the paper. You see? All right, I'm gonna do super speed mode one more time. All right? All right, I've gotten a very light layer of green down, and you know what? I want it just a little bit darker, so I'm gonna go over everything I just did, and that will make it a little bit darker, okay? Again, you do it however you wanna do it. All right. Okay, now you can see where I pressed really, really hard is darker than where I just colored kind of hard, okay? All right, so remember I said I'm gonna do this one dark green just like this one? All right, so I'm gonna go into super speed mode one more time and I'm gonna get this done, okay? Uh-oh, I broke my crayon. Sometimes it happens when you're coloring really hard, and you know what? That's okay. That happens sometimes. The great thing about crayons is when they break, all you have to do, I'm just gonna take my larger piece here, is find the edge of the paper and start peeling it back. You see, and then you get more crayon. Did you know that about crayons? Yeah, pretty cool, huh? All right, I'm gonna keep on coloring with my broken but still working crayon, all right? Okay, all right, whew. My hands are hurting and everything, but look at there. We have a beautiful Christmas tree. Now, if you went outside the lines a little bit, guess what? That's okay. I do it too. See? Right there. Yeah, it's okay. That's all right. All right, so now that we have our whole tree colored, This is going to be a little bit tricky, okay? And your directions are going to show you too. So have a grown-up help you with this because it is quite tricky, okay? And since I had to fold it, we'll see if that makes it even trickier. So you'll see that over here that there's this square or rectangular tab. You're going to pick it up and you're going to turn it over to the white side and you're going to roll this over to make a cone shape, okay? Now, you see how that is? You see that cone shape? Now you might have to squeeze it a little bit to get it to be more of a circle. Again, I'm sorry I had to fold them to put it in the box. But that's what it's going to look like on that side. So now that you see how it's going to go, and be careful not to cover any of the numbers up, okay? You're just covering that white tab. All right, so now that we kind of know how that's going to go, we're going to take that white rectangle strip, and on one side, there's going to be a strip of paper. It's a sticker, and you're going to carefully peel that off, throw that in the trash, and you're going to stick the sticky side on this tab. You can put it right over the words and just kind of press down, okay? And then the other side is also going to have a piece of paper. And you're going to peel that up, throw it in the trash, and then we're going to form our cone again. And we're just going to line it up. We're just going to line it up green to green. And then you can stick your hand inside of it and kind of press down together. Press it together. All right, that's good and stuck. Yeah. All right, and again, you can keep bending where that crease is. Try to help get it back into a cone shape again. All right, now you've got your Christmas tree. How cool is that? Yeah. All right, so next, what goes on top of the Christmas tree? A star, that's right, and this is a sticker too, all right? So it's got that paper backing, so we're just gonna take it off. Now these two stars are gonna stick together, okay? But don't stick it together until you've put it on top of your tree. I'll show you what I mean in just a second. Ooh, this is tricky with all of these corners and stuff. Sticky though. I'm getting all kinds of little pieces. How's yours going? All right, remember, throw those away. All right, so I've got my two sticky sides here. I'm gonna find the top of the tree that says 25. I want that to be the front of my tree and have this seam in the back, okay? So I'm gonna face it towards me and then I'm going to come around the back of it and put that little, the little rectangle of this star, I'm gonna put that on the tree and then I'm gonna fold it over and I'm just putting it on the very, very tip, see? And then I'm gonna fold it over and kind of line up my pieces of my stars and press down. And now we have a star on our tree. How cool is that? All right, very cool, very cool. I'm just gonna lay mine down just like that. Now, if you're doing this today on the first day of December, then you're gonna put one sticker, you're gonna find the number 1 on it. So we're gonna learn our numbers a little bit with this too. So my number 1 is over here. So I'm gonna put one sticker on it. Let's see, I think I'll choose the candy cane over here. You choose whichever one you want. And I'm gonna put it, oh, that was a number 7, but my number 1 is right there. I'm gonna put my candy cane on top of the number 1 for the first day of Christmas. All right, so if you're doing this on the second day, then you can put 2 stickers, one for the first day and one for the second day. If you're doing this on the third day of December, you're going to put 3 stickers, one on the 1, one on the 2, and one on the 3, and so on and so forth. So every day up until the day of Christmas, when you wake up, you might do it, or before you go to bed, you might do it. But be sure every day that you put a sticker on the number of the day that it is, okay? And a grown-up can help explain that to you more if you don't quite understand, and that's all right. It's a little tricky. So, and then come Christmas, every single one of these numbers will have a sticker on it, and you'll have a fully decorated tree. And you see, Christmas is December 25th, and there's the 25 right there at the top, okay? All right, so I hope you wake up every day and look forward to sticking your sticker on your Advent tree and counting down the days till Santa comes, okay? All right, are you ready for our next project? Me too. Let's get started. Alrighty, for our next project, we're going to make a greeting card to send to somebody that we love. So you'll need your card and your red envelope, and you'll also need the other little bag that had the colorful pieces in it. And again, I've already opened mine up, but what do we do with it? We throw it in the trash. All right, inside of that little bag, you're going to have this clear plastic triangle. Very important, don't lose it. You're also going to have this foam piece that says Merry Christmas, another foam piece with some colorful circles and candy canes, a bunch of these green thin pieces of tissue paper squares, a brown little square foam piece, and then you'll also need your glue and your paintbrush, and grab a little bowl or a cup, anything that you can mix a little bit of the glue with a little bit of water, okay? You're just gonna put just a little bit of water in it, and then you stir it up with the glue. All right, and this is creating a glue glaze, okay? Just a very thin kind of glue, all right? Okay, so, and then you're also gonna have your directions that came with it, just like the last project. You can use these, or you can follow me, or use both, however you wanna do it, okay? I'm gonna set my directions to the side because I know how to do it. All right, so I'm gonna move all this to the side, and what I'm gonna do is make sure that you're working on a surface that you can get some glue on and then wipe it up. I know it's kind of hard to see my piece right here, so just know that I'm trying very hard to just keep the glue just on the edges. Actually, I have a better idea. I'm going to get a paper towel. I'll be right back. All right, I've got my paper towel, and so I'm just gonna put my clear plastic triangle on top of it, and now I don't have to worry about making a mess anywhere, okay? All right, so now that I've mixed my glue with a little bit of water, and you don't need much, really this is more than what you need, okay? You only need a tiny bit. I'm gonna use my paintbrush to cover one side of this plastic triangle. I'm gonna be sure to cover every single bit of it. Now, it's important with paintbrushes, if we haven't talked about this before, not to mash down, straight down. Use the side of your brush. That way you don't mess your brush up. And just work in long strokes. You do not need any big puddles of this stuff anywhere on there. You just need a very thin layer. You can work this way and then go back over it that way. And there's going to be some spots where it's kind of wanting to separate on there, and that's okay. It'll all be sticky enough when we get to working. All right, so now that I have the whole thing covered with my glue mixture, I'm going to very carefully pick up one of the pieces of green paper, and I'm just going to lay it down on there and kind of press down. Now you want to try to get it not crumpled up. See, I crumpled mine up. That's okay. You can just kind of pull it apart and lay it flat. And you don't want a whole bunch of paper to hang over the edge of it, okay? Because you're gonna have to cut that off. Or you're gonna have a grown-up help cut it off for you. But you just wanna start layering that down. And it's okay to get a little bit of the glue on your fingertips, and where the paper kind of lays over each other, just kind of work them in together. And you're probably gonna have some paper stick to your fingertips just like that. Or you can use some of the glue with your brush to kind of get it to sit down. You see? Okay, and then just kind of lay them in all different directions. And that's gonna add a really cool effect that's gonna look a lot like what we talked about with our last project with shades of green, where they're touching and overlapping. It's gonna be darker than where there's just one single piece of paper. So you're creating the different shades of green. Okay, I'm gonna lay that one down right there. And I'm just gonna kind of cover it with the glue a little bit. There we go. Now, when you're picking these up, it's really easy to pick up more than one and they might be stuck together. So just kind of use your fingers to separate them. And anywhere where they're overlapping, you can use the glue. Okay, see, so here's a little section that's kind of stuck together. So I'm just going to very carefully separate them. Use your brush to glue it down. And it's okay. You're probably going to need somebody's help with this. That's okay. It's a tricky thing. So what this technique is called is a lot like collaging or paper mache. You're taking glue and thin paper and piecing them together, and the glue, when it dries, is going to make them all stick to each other. Really, really cool technique. You can do lots of things with it. You can cover cute little boxes using this method. Some people even do it over balloons to create like a shape or a mask, and then you pop the balloon and the dried up glue and paper mixture forms this hard shell that can be used like a sculpture. It's really cool. Need a piece right there. Whoops. I'm just going to glue it down. Now this project is one that you're gonna have to let dry and then come back to later. So that's okay. Sometimes things just take time. We have to wait for things to dry and stuff like that, and that's okay. Great things come when we wait. Oop, these are really stuck together. That's my dog, Jenny. I'm at home right now because I like doing things in my home. When we were talking a minute ago, when we were opening up our box and stuff, that was inside my house. Welcome to my house. That was my Christmas tree and our stockings that are ready for Santa to come put goodies in them. Do you have your Christmas decorations up yet? If you celebrate Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, what do y'all decorate with? Or do you decorate? I know that for Hanukkah, you light a candle every day for 8 days. I think that's pretty neat. Sometimes when they're really stuck together, you can just give it a gentle blow on the edges, and that kind of helps separate them a little bit. I just need a couple more pieces on here. All right, I think this last one might do it. And you can also, if you just have like a couple of little areas, you can also kind of tear the paper into a smaller piece and lay it down where you need it. I've got some little spots right there in the middle that I'm going to use these little bitty pieces of paper to cover up. Very cool. So we're just going to take our paintbrush and our little bit of glue and just really make sure that everything is good and covered in the glue mixture. And then when it's all covered, you'll see that you've got this really cool little dark green and light green effect. Almost looks like glass or something, huh? And so we're gonna let this glue dry. It'll take 30 minutes to an hour. So you've got plenty of time to have a potty break, maybe grab a snack or go play outside, work on your ABCs or something. Anything that you want to do while this dries is okay. You can even start one of your other projects. Just rewind the video. Not rewind. Fast forward, move ahead in the video and start on another project if you want to. It's completely up to you. All right, I'll see you back here when it's dry. Alrighty, is your glue dry on your Christmas tree yet? Mine is. All right, so when it's dry, you're gonna see that you have all of these little edges over the straight edge of that plastic. So I've got my son's little safety scissors here. You be sure to have a grown-up help you or ask them if you can have some safety scissors, okay? And you're just gonna carefully trim off that extra paper that's hanging over the plastic. Try not to cut the plastic itself, okay? Whoops, I kind of tore mine a little bit. That's okay. I'm just gonna smush it back down. That'll work. Remember Miss Brandy saying that sometimes we make mistakes or we make messes, and that's okay. All right, mine's pretty good. Okay. All right, I'm gonna set this aside. Actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it in the trash, okay? All right, and then I'm gonna take my card and I'm gonna open it up. And on the side that has the triangle cut out, I'm gonna turn it over to where the side that we glued the paper on is facing down, okay? So the smooth plastic side is what's facing me. And you see you're just gonna line it up over that triangle, okay? But first, we're gonna need some glue to get this to stick. All right, so we're gonna gently open up our glue and we're gonna put just a very, very, very thin line of glue along the edge of this, okay? Very, very little. You're gonna have to control how much glue you put there. If you need a grown-up's help, that's okay. You see, I don't know if you can see that, I'm barely putting any at all. It's not gonna take much. And you're gonna put it right on the edge because that piece of plastic only covers that little bit over the edge. Okay. I've got my tiny, tiny bit of glue down. And now I'm going to put my Christmas tree shape over that triangle. And line it up and press down on the edges. Whoop, and it's gonna slip a little bit, and that's okay. That is all right. It's gonna slip and slide until that glue dries, okay? All right. Now make sure there's not a bunch of glue seeping out of the edges, and then don't close this because then it's going to stick to this part and we won't be able to open our card, okay? So if there is some glue sticking out, just be sure to grab a paper towel or something and just kind of wipe the edges off, all right? And you can let that dry if you do have a lot of glue because you don't want that to still be sticky and then close this, okay? And well, I don't guess we have to close it. I guess you can just flip it over. Okay, yes. Don't close your card yet until that glue dries. See, we're figuring it out as we go. All right, but you see, now this is what it looks like when you turn it over. I've got some glue on that front side too. Doesn't that look neat? That's pretty cool, huh? All right, so now we get to decorate it. And your directions are gonna show you how to do that. Now, these little stars on here, they didn't come in our packages. Can you believe that? They were supposed to come with all this stuff and then they didn't. But that's okay. We will make it work with what we have, all right? So the first thing this tree needs is its little tree trunk. So we're gonna grab our little brown square rectangle-ish shape and take the back off of it and put the sticky side right down here in the middle of the tree, just like that. Then we're gonna take our foam piece that says Merry Christmas, and we're gonna take the back off of that, throw these pieces of trash in the trash, and we're gonna put that right along the bottom. Make sure that you don't cover where the card creases, okay? Then it won't fold up right. I'm just gonna put that right down there, just like that. Look how cute that is. And now we get to decorate our tree with our candy canes and little circle dots that are gonna be the ornaments, all right? So to get these off, you just kind of peel them off. These candy canes are gonna be a little bit tricky where that hook is. That's all right. So you can kind of stick them, woo! Kind of stick them on there just like that. You see? I think I'll put a red ornament on there. Just like that. And then maybe a green ornament right there. And a yellow one right there. I'm just going to keep on putting my ornaments and candy canes on until I've used them all. Kind of space them all out. And you decorate it however you want. Paper over there. See, look how cute that is. All right, I've got a green candy cane left. Carefully peel that off. Paper came off with this one. And my last one is my red candy cane. I'm trying to get all the paper off. All right, there we go. Okay, so once all of your glue dries on your little Christmas tree shape and all that, you can write a very sweet Merry Christmas note to somebody that you love. Or you could even write your list to Santa on here and mail it to him. Just ask a grown-up where you should mail it. But yeah, you can write something in here or have a grown-up help you write something in here and then send it to somebody that you love and tell them Merry Christmas. All right. Good job. All right, for this next project, we're gonna make a cute little snow globe with the friendliest reindeer of all, Rudolph. That's right. Okay, so for this one, you're going to need your big blue square piece of paper and your little brown rectangle. You're gonna need your plate and your green and brown paint, your paintbrush, your glue, your little bag of white dots, and your other Christmas bag that we took the crayon out of, and it still has the ribbon and the pom-pom and the googly eyes. Now, the only thing we're gonna need out of this bag for this one is the googly eyes and the red nose, okay? So we'll take that out in just a little while when we need it. All right, so we're gonna get real messy with this one, okay? So I'm gonna set all this stuff to the side except for my blue piece of paper and my paint. And I'm gonna take my rings off because I don't wanna get them messed up. Now you are gonna need to go wash your hands after this first little part, so be sure to be prepared for that, okay? All right, I'm going to carefully open my brown paint. Very carefully. I don't want it to spill or anything, okay? I don't need my green paint right now. And what I'm gonna do is paint one of my hands, okay? Why isn't my camera wanting to focus? Hand. Okay, all right, there we go. All right, so I'm just gonna paint one of my hands, okay? So since I use my right hand to write and paint things, I'm gonna paint my left hand, all right? And I'm gonna paint all of my fingers and my thumb and all of this. Now your hand is gonna be smaller than mine, so the way that mine looks on the paper is gonna be a little bit different than yours, all right? So before I get started on painting my hand, I'm gonna take my plastic plate and I'm gonna turn it over to where the bottom is facing up, and I'm gonna put that kind of right in the middle of my paper so I see where it's gonna go, okay? And then I'm gonna take my brown rectangle and I'm gonna put it right underneath it. That's gonna be the base of the snow globe. And this is gonna be the glass of the snow globe. You see what it's kind of looking like? Well, if my camera will act right. Come on, camera. Okay, there we go. All right, so now that we kind of see where this is gonna be on our paper, our handprint is gonna go right underneath it, okay? So kind of remember that your hand needs to go in the middle of your paper. All right, so we're gonna move this and we're gonna start painting, okay? So I'm going to get a lot of paint on my brush and I'm gonna start right here. Now, I wanna work quickly because I don't want the paint to dry or anything like that before I can stamp it onto the paper. All right, now you may need a grown-up to help you with this, and that is okay. It's kind of tricky, and it's cold, and it's tickly. All right, paint your fingers. Remember to get a lot on there. You don't want it to be a very, very thin layer because then it might not stamp onto the paper the right way. Don't forget your thumb. All right. I'm gonna move that up there where you can see a little bit better. All right, see, I've got some spots on here that already are looking really thin and kind of dry, so I'm going to be sure to put more paint on it. Okay, so now once you put your hand down, that's the one chance you get at putting it down the right way. But I tell you what, you actually have another chance, because if the first time you put it down and it doesn't work right, you can let that dry, turn the paper over, and try it again on the other side. And hopefully you'll have enough paint to cover your hand again, okay? All right, so now that I've got a bunch of paint on my hand, I'm gonna set this aside, carefully put my brush down in a safe spot where it's not gonna get on anything. I'm gonna turn my hand over, and I'm gonna very gently, with my fingers spread apart, not together, don't put them together, spread them apart, because that's gonna be Rudolph's antlers, okay? I'm going to, I'm just gonna set it down. I'm not going to wiggle my hand or anything. I'm going to lift it straight up. All right, so I have got a lot of space right here that I don't want. I'm very carefully going to line my hand back up and repress it and make sure that my whole palm of my hand is on there. There we go, that's better. Okay, so we've got to let this paint dry, okay? But you'll see that these are gonna be his antlers or his horns. In fact, I got a little bit over there. I want a little bit more paint right there. Okay, well, that'll work. And then this is going to be Rudolph's face. And we're gonna put the eyes and the red nose on there, okay? So for now, we've gotta let this dry, all right? And I'll see you back here when it's dry. Alrighty, now that the paint has dried on your handprint, you're gonna put the eyes and the nose on Rudolph. So in our bag, take those out. You can actually just go ahead and grab your plate. That's a good little surface to dump these out on. Just kind of shake them out. Make sure you get both eyes and the nose. All right. All right, so we're gonna start with the eyes. Now these are very, very, very tiny, so you're only gonna need a tiny bit of glue. I'm gonna put his eyes right here, one right there and one right there, okay? So I'm just gonna put the very tiniest little dot of glue right there. Tiny, tiny. I'm gonna very carefully put that flat side of my googly eye on there. And then come right over here and do the same thing. Tiny dot of glue and tiny wiggly eye. Just like that. These eyes are so tiny on my big hand. You see? I love how they wiggle around. And then we're gonna do the nose. Now this one, this fuzzy pom-pom, they don't always like to stick with glue so well, so we're gonna use a good bit of glue for this. So I'm gonna put it right here, kind of towards the bottom a little bit. And I'm gonna mash my pom-pom down on it. I'm gonna find kind of a flat side actually. I think it'll stick better that way. Okay. Now it's not gonna stick right at first. It's gonna take some time for this glue to dry. So again, we have to wait, but look at Rudolph. You have made Rudolph with your hand. Can you believe that? All right, okay, we'll see you again when the glue dries. Okay, now that the glue has dried on your little eyes and your nose, and hopefully that nose is sticking down good, we are going to take our little brown rectangle and place some glue on one side. Open that up just a little bit more. put some glue down. Okay, close that up. And then, see, just like that. And then we're gonna flip it over, and now you don't wanna put it right up against his little chin here. You wanna kind of bring it down towards the bottom of the paper and leave a little bit of space. But like I said, my hand is much bigger than yours, so it's filling out more of the paper than yours is going to. Okay, so here's the tricky part, okay? You're gonna put glue on the edge of your plate, right here on the little rim of the side that you would eat on, okay? So not the bottom side of the plate, but the top of the plate. And you're gonna put the glue around, but you're gonna leave a section not glued, and that is gonna go at the top of his antlers. So if I was to place it like this, right, I would not have glue in a section right here, because what we're gonna do is once that glue dries, we're gonna open up that paper a little bit and pour our little white beads in it and then glue that part down, okay? So just follow along with me. Okay. Alrighty, so we're gonna, like I said, you're gonna put the glue just on the edge of the plate, right there on that rim. Come all the way around. Except for a section about that big, okay? Now you're gonna take a piece of paper in front of you, flip your plate over. You can kind of hold it by the part that's not glued. Put that part at the top of the picture, line it up, and place your plate down just like that, okay? Kind of press down a little bit. Make sure that there is a good contact of the glue with the paper. All right, now, guess what? We gotta wait more, okay? But I promise you it's all gonna be worth it in the end, because if we try to pick this up right now and separate that right there and pour our little beads in, what's gonna happen is, well, this is just gonna come apart. The paper's gonna fall off the plate and the beads are gonna stick to all the glue that's kind of inside the rim of the plate, okay? So very important to let this dry, and I promise it's gonna be worth it in the end, okay? All right, we wait some more. Sorry, you guys. See you in a minute. Alrighty, now that your glue has dried on your plate and paper, you will see that it is clear. There's no more white glue showing. Just check to make sure that the paper isn't coming off anywhere, that it's a nice good seal around, and that you can still open up that space right there so we can get your snow in for your snow globe, okay? All right, so this next part, you're gonna take your snow and you're gonna carefully open up the bag. Now, because this bag is plastic and these are made of foam, styrofoam, static is going to probably cause some of them to stick inside the bag, and that's okay. All right, so what you're gonna do is pick this up to where the opening is at the top, and you're gonna very carefully, whoop, and it's okay if some of it kind of comes off the paper for you to get it in there. And you're just gonna pour them into that space. And you may not need all of them, or you might need all of them, but you see now they're in there. It kind of covers up his nose a little bit, but once we get that glued up again, then we can shake it around like a real snow globe, okay? So like I said, you might not need all of them, or you might need all of them. Just depends on how many is in your little bag, okay? So now that we have those poured in there, you're gonna take your glue again and you're gonna seal up very carefully that last little bit of the plate rim that isn't glued down already. So I'm just gonna turn this towards me. And I'm gonna very carefully, make sure your glue's opened up. I'm gonna very carefully find where the glue stops and start putting glue on the rest of it. All right, make sure you go edge to edge so that way when that glue's dry and we can shake it around, that they don't come spilling out where there's no glue. All right, close your glue up. Now it's okay if some of it kind of seeps out. That's all right, because when it dries, it'll be clear. Just press it down and make sure that there's a good seal of glue around that plate. All right, and there you have it. I would wait for that glue to dry before you shake it, but so I can show you, I'm gonna go ahead and shake mine. But you see, now we've got a snow globe with Rudolph inside. Yeah, isn't that cool? Alrighty, well, I hope you've had a lot of fun with this project. Great job. Alrighty, this is going to be our last project for our December box, and I'm really excited about this one because we're going to make our very own Christmas tree ornament, okay? And we're going to use some really cool techniques with this one, and this is something that you can keep forever and hang it on your Christmas tree year after year. All right, so for this one, you're going to need your Model Magic, your rolling pin, your Christmas tree shaped cookie cutter, your red ribbon out of your little Christmas themed bag, your paintbrush, your paint, you're gonna need your green paint, and a fork. And it's not in your box, but I'm hoping that you can find one at home, but any kind of straw will do the trick, or anything that can put a little hole in something. So just ask a grown-up to help you find something that you can make a hole with, and I'll show you why later, okay? So for now, the first thing that I need is my Model Magic and my rolling pin, okay? And everything else I'm gonna set to the side. All right, so also not in your box, and I apologize for this, you're gonna need to put some paper down. Now, the best kind of paper would be what's called wax paper. It's very thin paper that people use for making sweets and treats and chocolate and stuff, and it has a very thin coating of wax so that the Model Magic doesn't stick to it. You just peel it off, kind of like how you peel the paper off of the back of a sticker, okay? So I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab a piece of wax paper. All right, so I did not have wax paper, but you know what else will work really great? A plastic bag. A Ziploc bag works great. You could also use saran wrap or plastic wrap, or parchment paper, or a brown paper bag, anything that has paper that you can just peel right off, okay? I just wouldn't do it directly on your table, because then you're gonna have to scrape up the dough, and you don't wanna risk messing up your Christmas tree shape, okay? All right, so I'm gonna take my Model Magic and I'm gonna open it up. See? And you're gonna throw this away. Okay, so yours may be a little bit cold like mine, since we are in the winter time. And this will roll out a lot better if you warm it up in your hands by just giving it some squeezes. Give your hands a workout. Yeah, just kind of squeeze it and knead it. Yeah, just like that. Now this is gonna roll out a lot like cookie dough or bread dough. So you can use this practice for when you make those yummy Christmas cookies with your cookie cutter and rolling pin. I hope you get to make Christmas cookies anyways. That's something that me and my kids do every year. And we give them to our neighbors and the mailman, to the people that we care about a lot. We like to make Christmas cookies for everybody. All right, so I've kind of got my Model Magic in a little ball shape. I'm gonna put it right down, And then when you're using a rolling pin, you see this part spins on its own while the handles stay still. So you're just gonna press down a little bit, and it's not gonna just roll right at first, and you can even use your hands like this. This bag is gonna slip around a little bit on me, and that's okay. And then you can kind of give it a turn and roll it some more. And then turn it again and roll some more. This bag does not want to sit still, but you know what? I think I got a trick for that too. I'll be right back. Okay, let's see if this works. I've got a paper towel and I've just wet it and squeezed out the water and then stretched it out. You see? And I'm gonna put that underneath my Ziploc bag. And we'll see if that doesn't keep it from sliding around. Maybe not as bad, we'll see. Yeah, that's better. All right, so we're just gonna gently roll this. Now you don't wanna just go mashing straight down to where the rolling pin is gonna hit the bag or whatever it is you're working on. You just wanna give it a little bit of pressure and just roll back and forth very gently. Turn your dough, roll it the other way. And get a nice even go from one edge to the other, back and forth. Make sure you're going from this side to this side to this side. Pick it up, give it a turn, get it a little bit thinner. Now you don't want to get your dough too thin because then your ornament won't be as strong and hold up over the ears. You want it to be a little bit thick. You want it to be thick enough to hold up, but you want to spread it out enough for your cookie cutter to get it completely covered, okay? So I think I might be good right about there. When I'm looking down, I don't see any gaps on the edge of my Christmas tree, okay? So I think that's good enough. And I'm just gonna gently press down. Might give it a little bit of a wiggle, okay? And then I'm going to take the dough that's on the outside of the cookie cutter and just start peeling it away. And then you can use this to make something else. I don't think it's quite enough to roll it back out and get another one, but maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure, but boy, is it fun to play with. I love how squishy this stuff is, but it's also very soft. Actually, you know what? We can get 2 ornaments out of this. You see how that just came right up with it? I'm just gonna set that to the side. I'm gonna roll it into another ball, just like this. Now you don't have to make this along with me. This is kind of a bonus with the extras. It's always good to use what you have. And we're just gonna try to make a circle. So we're just gonna gently, just like we started off before, do one direction, turn it, then the other direction, give it a turn, give it a turn, another turn, make sure you're making nice, even movements. Okay, so now you see it's about as thick all the way around. It's nice and even, okay? So now we've got our circle. A lot of ornaments are circle shape. What we're gonna do is make a hole on one side for the ribbon or Christmas tree hook. So I'm gonna take my straw and I'm going to take one end of it and I'm going to press straight down on the edge, not too close to the edge. And see, now we've got our hole for our ornament. So now you just have a bonus ornament. You can get a grown-up to write your name, or you can use some different color paints to paint on it. Okay, but first you have to let this clay dry. We'll talk more about that in a second. So let's just set that aside for now. Now we've got our Christmas tree. This is the one we're really focusing on today, okay? So we're gonna very gently get this out of our cookie cutter. Come on. Very gently. All right, whoa. And when you lay it down flat, you should get that Christmas tree shape again. You see? Mine's kind of leaning. It looks like it's a Christmas tree from Dr. Seuss or something. I think that's pretty cool. All right, next we're gonna take our fork and on the, the back side of it, right here, we're gonna turn that over onto it. And I'm gonna start down here at this bottom section. So this bottom one right here, and then move up to this one and then this one. And we're gonna create lines in it that's gonna add what's called texture, where it feels bumpy, but make it look like tree branches, tree fronds, okay? So you can use a technique of just putting the prongs on there and pressing down, just like that, and kind of angle it to go with the tree. See how that is? I'm putting the top of the prongs right at this line where this section meets that one, and just kind of press it down. And you can go back and forth over it several times to create lots of little lines. Can you see that? And then I'm gonna move up to this section, and again, I'm gonna bring the end of my prongs of my fork right up to that line where those sections meet, and I'm just gonna press down into my dough. Back and forth, over and over, creating all of those little lines that look like Christmas tree. And then one more up here at the top. Now you can even take it and drag it down, drag it. You can do it that way, or you can press straight down. Just however you want to do it, it's fine. You can create whatever you want with this. This is your ornament. You can even come at it from this way a little bit. All right. So now that I've used my fork to create all of these lines and texture in it, I'm going to take my straw again, and the same thing that we did with this one, I'm going to put it right about here in the middle of that top section of the Christmas tree. If you put it too close to the edge, that edge is going to be too thin and it might break over time, and we want these ornaments to last for a long time. Okay, and we've got our hole in there. Okay, so what you have to do with this Model Magic is you're gonna have to let it dry for at least one whole day, or it's best if you let it dry for 3 whole days. Once it's finally completely dry, we're going to come and paint it with our green paint and make it really look like a Christmas tree, okay? So as much as I hate to make you wait that long, sometimes that's just what we have to do, okay? I will see you back here for this project when your dough is dry. All right. All right, now that your Model Magic dough has dried, you hear that? It's still gonna feel just like a little bit soft and pillowy, and that's just what this stuff feels like. So when you put this ornament away for the holiday season, you're packing up all your Christmas decorations, just be sure to wrap it up in something, maybe put it in a little box so it's safe and doesn't get damaged by anything else, okay? All right, so we are gonna take our green paint and carefully open it up. And we've got our paintbrush again, and we're going to simply paint it green. Okay, you also have your brown paint, and you can use that to paint the trunk of your tree. That's this little nub right here. I would stop it about right there. Or you can just leave it white. It's however you want to do it, okay? But be sure to rinse your brush off in between the colors. Don't mix them together. All right, so I'm just gonna start with my green, dip my paintbrush in there, and I'm just gonna start at the top and just gently use my brush to brush that green paint onto it. And some areas can be lighter and some darker, just like we talked about in the other projects about shade. We've done lots of different shades of green this month, haven't we? Now I'm not letting any big pools of paint sit in any one spot. I'm kind of only putting a little bit of paint on my brush at a time, and I'm putting a very, very, very thin layer on there. Just barely touching it. And you don't necessarily have to get down into all the nooks and crannies. You can leave those white, and it makes a really interesting effect. All right, very nice. All right, so you can choose to paint the sides or the back of your tree green, or you can leave it white. You do it however you want to. If there are any other colors of paint you have at the house or at school and you want to add little ornaments to it, you do it however you want to do it, okay? It's your ornament, all right? I hope that you've had a lot of fun with me doing this. I know I've had a lot of fun, and I hope that this little ornament is something you enjoy seeing on your Christmas tree every year. All right, so when your paint is dry, you're gonna have a grown-up help you put your ribbon inside of your ornament, and then you can hang it on your tree, okay? All right, I've had such a fun time with you this month, and I can't wait to do these with you again. I think our next box will be in February, so we'll get to do some fun Valentine's Day things and maybe some things that are gonna get us ready for spring. Yeah, when all the flowers start blooming and stuff, okay? All right, I hope you have a happy, happy, happy holiday season and a happy new year, and I'll see you later. You did a great job. Bye-bye.